Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In. I'm a crackhead update. I done started a new policy now. I used to wait till my warning light come on, tell me I got 50 miles to go before I run out of gas. Now I'm filling up at 1/3 of a tank. It's 1/3 of a tank left. But anyway, I was up at the 7-Eleven on Ross and Peak, and I had paid for the gas. I don't ever put my card in the gas pump. I always go inside the store. And this chick approached me, and she asked for some money. And she said, man, I'm homeless, and I sleep out here on the street. And he called me Pizza. I say, Pizza? She said, yeah, that's my name. She said, last night I was asleep, and this guy started licking on me. He said, boy, he was licking. That motherfucker was licking. He said, he was licking. I even told him I was going to marry him. He was licking me. You hear what I said? That motherfucker was licking me. He said, then he got through, then he wore my ass out. I told him I married him, I love him, every damn thing. I said, well, here you $5 is. She was like, no, I'm Pizza. See, that means two. That's my marketing ploy. See, I sell shit. I market things. So I gave her $5 more. She said, for 20, I can make you feel good. She said, I'm a little bit musty, but we can get in your car and we can make it happen. I said, no, I'm going to pass on that Pizza. She said, see, you know my name now. That's my name, Pizza. I said, that's a hell of a name. She said, I'm a hell of a woman. I said, well, I got to go. I got things to do this morning. She said, can I go to your house and take a shower? I said, no, I'm headed to North Dallas. I had to lie. I'm not going to bring this woman to my house. It's bad you can't help people out, but I can't trust this piece of shit. She might be a good person. I don't know, but I ain't going to take that chance. That's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your motherfucking shanks out and let's get ready to ride. Yeah, I had my next door neighbors, they do OnlyFans. I had them come over and straighten my camera up. It's two sisters, one 23, one 24. Now they're in the top 5% earners on OnlyFans. She said they make over $50,000 a month. They doing good for themselves. See, during the pandemic, they just came up with them a plan. You know, we all need to start building a generational wealth. You got to start somewhere, some point in time in your life, you got to start. You can just save $25 a week out of each paycheck. End of the year of 52 weeks, that's $1,300 at the end of the year. That can pay for some Christmas presents or some investments. You got to start somewhere. You can start small. All big things didn't start out big. At one time, they were small. Some things started out as an idea, and it bared good fruit. The guy stayed on his grind. You know, leave them McDonald's along and Wendy's and KFC's. People who got jobs, they'll start taking a lunch to work instead of going to eat this fast food, spending $10 or $11 every day. That shit adds up. If you're hourly employed, that shit adds up at the end of the week. You know, it's ways to save. Like me, I'm at a point now where I sacrifice to get to this point. You don't want to sacrifice nothing. Ain't nothing going to happen in your life. Everything just ain't going to be handed to you on a silver spoon. You know, all religious texts, Islam, the Holy Bible, they both speak on God to help those who help themselves. But you got to take the first step. My subject today going to be, I had a lot of subscribers ask about South Park, Mexican, SPM. I met him once. He came on a medical chain to the Escobedo unit, located in Huntsville. That's one of the medical prisons Texas has. And I was working back then lockup, and he needed somebody When you catch the chain, they don't allow you to take your hot pot, something you can heat your food up with. So he needed his food heated up. So he called me and asked me would I heat his food up. And I got a chance to chit-chat with him a little bit. Now, his name is Carlos Coy. I'm not going to discuss the facts of this case. I'm not sitting in judgment on him. I've met too many guys down through the years. When they came out in the wash, they were actually innocent. I deal with quite a few of them here in Dallas. And they had similar cases. And they was acquitted. Also, I met a guy back in the day named Escobedo. Her mother, well, his wife, got pissed off at him in a divorce and had his 2 daughters to go to the authorities and say that he assaulted them. This man received a life sentence. Now, I met him on the Styles unit. And after his daughters got grown, they got curious on where their dad was. So I talked to him on the rec yard. He said, man, I didn't do this, man. These guys used to treat him bad. But Texas don't judge those type of guys in prison by bad paperwork. Now, you can't walk around bragging about it, but they don't judge you on that. They judge you on how you act at that prison. Damn what you was in there for. Well, anyway, his daughters came forward and said that his mama coached him into telling the authorities that. He ain't did shit. He spent all that time in prison for nothing. Now, I'm not saying it's the same thing happened in South Park Mexican case. Now, he's eligible for parole. I believe I looked on their website, and 2024 be his first parole. He had to serve 50% of his time to be eligible for parole under Texas law. You know, it's kind of hard to judge what a parole board is going to do. But for one thing, he's in protective custody. So I don't know how the hell that's going to work. In Texas, if you got a sex case, you must go through the sex offender education program. You will receive a document from the parole board called a FI-2. You must complete that program. It's 6 to 9 months long. You must complete it before you release. No way around it. Now, I don't know how the hell a man in protective custody going to be able to complete this program. They got it at 2 different prisons. At the High Tower unit in Dayton, Texas, and the Goree unit in Huntsville. You must complete that program. And on his confinement in protective custody, he probably was afraid in the county jail, thinking that these guys get attacked in Texas just for having that type of crime, which they don't. Texas has a lot of those guys in prison, and they not being attacked. Now, they have the Price Daniel unit. At this prison houses a lot of sexual offenders, ex-prison guards, ex-police officers. They don't allow no fight, or they don't allow no kind of drama at this prison. This man can live in general population there and wouldn't have a problem. Plus, one thing he got going in his favor, he's got money. Money talks in a Texas prison. He could hire him security. There's several guys at these prisons he could hire and nothing won't happen to him. They'll do his fighting for him. He ain't got to do shit. He got money. Now, his chances of making parole, it's just like rolling the dice. Anything can happen. It depends on several factors. He fell from Houston. Harris County can protest his parole. That'll keep him in prison. The crime victims can write a protest statement or appear in front of the parole board and say that they don't want this guy released. And you stuck like Chuck. It's very rare the parole board gonna overrule the crime victim or the trial officials. So I can't say if he'll make parole or if he'll remain in prison. It's damned if you do and damned if you don't. But in my opinion, he could get out of protective custody. He has money. Under Texas law, every 6 months, the Huntsville Classification Board must review his case. He appear before the classification board. And they decide whether you remain in that custody level or you release. It's up to them. Now, I don't know if he's telling them he want to get released or he want to remain. But he definitely can get out. Texas have had a lot of high-profile people, and they were not in protective custody. Dexter Manley, for the Washington Redskins, lived in general population. Pimp C lived in general population. I used to talk to him on the rec yard when he was at the Estelle unit. He wasn't in no protective custody. The guy with Crosby, Steele, and Nash, he lived in general population. Texas has several prisons that are extremely safe. They don't allow nothing to happen at those prisons. Ain't nothing going to happen. They don't have gangbangers there, and they don't have tough convicts. You may be tough, but you can't throw your weight around, and you can't express it verbally. They will transfer your ass. You're not going to be at the Walls unit in Huntsville and fight. Your ass is history. They're going to transfer you out to one of the maximum security prisons where they fight all the time. They're going to send your ass to one of those prisons. Now, the prison he's at, I talks about a lot, the Ramsey unit. That is a totally different Ramsey unit now than from what it was then. What Texas did after that Ruiz versus Estelle, the federal judge stepped in, all of their frontline hardcore prisons, they made sure those prisons, security was lax, and they instituted a lot of programs that take the violent aspect away from those prisons. The Ellis unit, the Eastham unit. They even changed the name of the Eastham unit. Now it's the Wainwright unit. The Retrieve unit. This no longer even exists. And the Ramsey unit. Ramsey unit now primarily houses minimum custody inmates. Same way at Ramsey. They ain't gonna allow no fighting, no stabbing. You start and they got the grad program. For former gang members, they must complete that program. A lot of those guys are housed at that prison. They ain't gonna allow no bullshit to go on. Your ass will be locked up and transferred to a maximum security prison where all this shit occurs on a daily basis. So there are prisons in Texas that this man can be housed at, and he'd be housed safely, won't nothing happen to him. Money talks in a Texas prison, and he got money. He got outside support. He could hire a damn gang if it's necessary, because most of those fuckers are broke as hell. He could hire those guys if he wanted to. But again, no one can predict whether he'll make parole or he receive what is known as a set-off. It's anywhere from 1 year to 5 years before you're eligible for parole again. And by state law, you can't decide which one you received. It's all up to the parole board. And this guy's a first offender, so his chances are slightly better than a guy who's a repeat offender. You know, like I said, I'm not discussing the facts of his case because I really don't know. You know, I know some guys here in Dallas, like I said, got the same type cases. If you looked at it on the surface, man, it looked bad. When they dug a little bit deeper, they found out this guy was actually set up. And he didn't commit not one fucking crime. And it's a ton of those guys here in Dallas who've been exonerated. I see them at least twice a week. I get to talk to them. You know, a lot of people don't like these type of offenders, which can be easily understood. But something needs to happen to these young chicks. A lot of them are not being forced to do anything. I can go right now to North Dallas on Lombardi. Man, they got 15, 16-year-old girls out there selling pussy out of both draw legs. And they not being trafficked. They want the money. They want the iPhone. They want all the shit come with it. They want their hair did. They want all kind of bullshit that their family can't afford. And they out there selling pussy like it's going out of style. And they're young. They know exactly what the hell they are doing. You know, under law, it's illegal. But they have knowledge that the act they're committing is wrong, and you can get the guy in trouble. They don't give a shit. Probably if they get caught up by the cops, they probably say, oh, no, I was forced. But you can sit back and watch them. Ain't nobody forcing them, and it's police all over that area. All they got to do is flag a cop down and say, hey, this guy's forcing me to do that. All them businesses up there, they can go in and say, hey, call the police for me. This guy's forcing me to do things. Guarantee you, man, that's a high police area. I mean, law enforcement is all over that area. You know, I'm not condoning it one way or the other. But something needs to happen to these young chicks also. Even though they're under law, they can't give consent. But subliminally, they're giving consent because they're not being forced. Now, in some cases, probably people being forced. But in majority, they are not. They're doing it voluntarily. They know that's the fastest way to a man's wallet is sex. That's the fastest way to his wallet. You know, I really didn't want to do this video, but I had a lot of subscribers ask about it because I personally don't know anything about South Park Mexican except when I met him at the Escobedo unit and he was on a medical chain. And he's going to be there about a week and they'll send him back to the Ramsey unit. That's where he's housed at in protective custody. And in Texas, I checked this morning, 69 guys in protective custody in the Texas prison system, and only 69. Y'all keep your shanks ready. It's getting close to the holidays. They broke. A lot of people gonna have Viennas and bologna for Christmas, but they done fucked all their money off. Y'all stay watching these fools when you're out shopping. Pay attention. Because somebody's always watching you and lurking around. They always watching your stand around crew. They out in full force during the holiday season. Support me over on Patreon. Like and subscribe. Pizza. And I thank you for watching. Pizza.